Welcome to SJBC News. This is the afternoon news, you guys, and thank you for joining me here today. I am your host, Sunshine Jamaican Blazing Chocolate. Happy Thursday to everyone. We're heading into a new month, into February. The weather has been up and down. So today, here on Thursday, here in Chicago, the weather is currently 51 degrees. Cloudy skies, slight chance of rain shower. High 51, low 24. And at night, it would be 38 degrees. Rain early, then remaining cloudy, well showers overnight. We're going to have showers overnight. So make sure you dress accordingly to the weather, you guys. On Friday, it will be 40 degrees here in Chicago, but it'll also be rain with a low of 29 degrees, 97% chance of rain. And Saturday, it will be 37 degrees, low 34, mostly cloudy. Mostly cloudy Sunday, cloudy Monday. Going into the February, it will be February 4th. Welcome and thank you for joining me, you guys. How are you? Now, we're going to get into the news, you guys, and let's go get into the news that is going on now. As recently, prayers go out to the people that was on the airplane, an American Airlines jet that did crash. Okay, pilot of American Airlines jet that crashed near Washington D.C. had Georgia ties. A family with ties to Georgia is grieving after learning that their loved one was one of the pilots killed in the crash between a small American Airlines plane and a military helicopter crash near Reagan National Airport on Wednesday night. Timothy Lilly spoke to Fox 5 Atlanta from Washington, D.C., telling us that his son, 28-year-old Sam Lilly, was one of the two pilots aboard the aircraft. Say, this is undoubtedly the worst day of my life, he said. A longtime pilot himself, Timothy was in New York for work when he realized his son was in the cockpit. At the time of the accident, he said he initially couldn't believe it was his son's flight, but when he failed when Sam failed to check in, something he always did, his worst fears were confirmed. Officials have said the military helicopter was conducting a training exercise when the crash occurred. Timothy, who served 20 years as a helicopter pilot in the Army, is familiar with the complexities of such operations. He goes to say, I was a helicopter pilot in the Army for 20 years. In the 90s, I used to fly in and out of the Pentagon regularly. And he said, I could tell if you were flying on the route over the Potomac and wearing night vision goggles, it's going to be very hard to see that plane. If you're not wearing the goggles, then you might have a chance, Timothy explained. He does believe that the commercial PSA jet involved in the incident was following proper procedures, but the military helicopter made a tragic error. From what I can see, he said, those guys turned right into the jet. I think the PSA jet was doing everything right. The Army pilot made a grave error, and it hurts me because those are my brothers, and now my son is dead. Now Timothy faces an agonizing wait for answers. He said he spent last night at the airport filling out forms and being told to wait. As the investigation continues, his focus remains on seeking clarity about what led to his son's death. Timothy, his son Sam, and their family have ties to the Savannah area. In addition to his family, Sam reportedly leaves behind a fiance. All prayers do go out to everyone involved in this tragic accident. All 64 people aboard the American Airlines jet and the 3 soldiers on board the Army helicopter are feared dead, according to officials. As of 12 p.m. Thursday, at least 28 bodies have been pulled from the icy waters of the Potomac River. And investigators from the Federal Aviation Administration have joined the National Transportation Safety Board-led investigation of the mid-air collision between the passenger jet and the military helicopter. So God rest those ones on their oh man, God rest the ones on their soul, all their souls. You know, the ones that have passed away. Lord rest their souls, and prayers go out to all the families, everyone that is involved, because that is a tragic accident. The father of the man that passed away, Sam, he did say that you know, he did see how it went, and he do believe that the military plane made a tragic bad error. You know, so that's why the planes went into and crashed each other, which is very tragic. It's sad. But moving right along, you guys, we have other news, okay? Reporting to you live from Chicago, as you can see from my living room. I'm your host, Sunshine Jamaicanblazin Chocolate, you guys. Yes, it is very, very hard to lose a loved one. So, like I said, all prayers do go out to them. All prayers do go out to them, you guys. In other news, they did say that as of now, as of now, yes, Chi-Town. As of now, what they did say as an update, that President Donald Trump did confirm that there were no survivors among the 67 people on board an American Airlines passenger jet and a military helicopter. So this is just in a little while ago, which collided mid-air over Ronald Reagan National Airport near Washington, D.C. on Wednesday night. The American Airlines jet has 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board. 3 soldiers were aboard the helicopter. According to officials, the helicopter apparently flew into the flight path of the plane while it was landing at the airport. The crash triggered a major search and rescue operation in the icy Potomac River. Dozens of bodies were recovered, Lord have mercy, from the waters during the overnight hours. The plane's fuselage was found upside down and broken into 3 sections in waist-deep water. The wreckage of the helicopter was also located. If the casualty numbers hold, this incident could become the deadliest U.S. air crash in nearly 24 years. Bodies of all 3 soldiers on the helicopter was recovered around 1:35 p.m. The Associated Press reports that the remains of the soldiers will be at Air Force Air Force. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, it's those words. Air Force Mortuary, whatever. Affairs Operations at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. That office coordinates that dignified transfer of fallen service members. God rest their souls. The official spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss details not yet announced. No identities of the crew have yet been released. Flights did resume at Reagan National after deadly mid-air collision. At around 1:30 p.m., the flights resumed at the Ronald Reagan National Airport on Thursday morning as officials continued to investigate the mid-air collision that left 67 dead. Many flights have been canceled, but other flights were delayed until later this afternoon. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who was sworn in earlier this week, was asked if he could reassure Americans that the United States still have the safest airspace in the world. Can I guarantee that the American flying public that the United States has the most safe and secure airspace in the world? And the answer to that is absolutely yes, we do. He said. Officials said flight conditions were clear as the jet arrived from Wichita, Kansas, with U.S. and Russian figure skaters and others aboard. There was no immediate word on the cause of the collision. On final approach into Reagan National, it collided with military aircraft on an otherwise normal approach, said American Airlines CEO Robert Isom. At this time, we don't know why the military aircraft came into the path of the aircraft. So they're not sure of it. You know, they're really not sure of it yet. And Buttigieg blasts Trump's criticism. because Trump said 12:30 p.m. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says Trump spewing conspiracy theories about the deadly mid-air collision turns your stomach. It's one thing for the internet pundits to spew off conspiracy theories, it's another for the president of the United States. So it was not on purpose because Trump did blame air traffic controllers, the helicopter pilots, Democratic policies, and federal agents at a news conference Thursday. Trump also lashed out at the Federal Aviation Administration, saying air travel has been made less safe due to the agency's diversity efforts. Well, Trump, former transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, blasted Trump's criticism of the country's transportation department. So Trump trying to blame it on whoever he's trying to blame it on. You know, he feels a certain way. But this could have just been a mere tragic accident. I mean, these are cars in the sky with wings. Okay, these are cars in the sky with wings. These are huge limos. I mean, they're really big. Well, these ain't even limos. These are big, big, big pieces of travel. I mean, I don't know. That's why I like to drive and stay on the ground. In other news, right? You guys, we have other news because Trump is saying what he want to say. So, you guys, thank you for tuning in. President Trump now oversees the military and the FAA. One of his first acts was to fire and suspend some of the key personnel who help keep our skies safe. Time for the president to show actual leadership and explain what he would do to prevent this from happening again. So Trump is going to, Trump is going to get into firing people in high places. Y'all watch out for him. Yeah, so like once again, thank God. I say prayers for everyone that was involved in that accident. Um, Many prayers for the families and their loved ones. So so thank you for joining me. This is SJBC News, afternoon news. Thank you for joining. In other news, you guys, let's talk about Cook County. Chicago police. Cook County does crack down on the switches, my ninjas. Cook County cracks down on switches, illegal gun modifications in new policy. Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke announced a new policy Thursday, hoping to crack down on switches and other illegal gun modifications. The policy directs prosecutors to seek prison sentences for offenders caught using machine guns, automatic switches, extended magazines, ghost guns, or defaced firearms in any felony crime. Anyone who has seen one of these modified guns in action, which enable a shooter to unload a 30-round drum magazine in less than 2 seconds, understands that these are weapons of war and they have no place in our communities, Burke said in a statement. Under the new policy, assistant states attorneys will be prohibited from reducing charges or even accepting plea deals when sufficient evidence proves the use of a modified firearm. Exceptions will require supervisory approval. Now, you guys, it is true. I live in Chicago. The way these brothers is walking around like they are in war, like they are in Iraq. Why do you need machine guns, automatic switches, extended magazines, ghost guns? Why do you need all that on the streets in your neighborhood, in your community? They need to lock them all up. Take them all, lock them all up. Or send them directly to the Army. That's what they need to do. They need to send them directly to the Army. Exceptions will require supervisory approval if the state's attorney wants to reduce charges when a young man is caught with a gun. And what they're saying is CPD Superintendent Larry Snelling voiced his support for the new policy. The proliferation of illegally modified firearms has created too much trauma in our city for far too long. And that is true. State's Attorney O'Neal Burke is taking gun crimes as seriously as CPD as we both seek justice for victims of gun violence and work to make our city safer for every resident and family. You want to hold switches and all this other stuff, go to the Army. Why you young men ain't enlisted in the Army? Why you not going to the Army since you want to do so much? Why you gotta jeopardize your families and your friends and your loved ones and the neighbors? You jeopardizing everybody because you're making it seem like we're in a war zone. The bottom line is, if you are convicted of using one of these weapons or wars on the street of Cook County, you are going to prison about damn time. As they should. That way we can stop the black on black violence that keep on happening. That way we can make these streets safer. Lock them up. Lock them up. They don't want to learn. They think they're in Iraq. It's sad to call this Chirac. And people said, I do sometimes say it, and it's just, it became a habit, as it introduced in our city. But that's not a good thing. Why is we comparing ourselves to a city that's at war all day? That's at war with different countries. We're not at war with different countries and states. Chicago ain't at war with New York. New York ain't in war with California. California ain't in war with Florida. We ain't in war. We are living in a city where we have freedom. 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 Do you understand me? It says every detainable felony offense when offender used or possessed a firearm equipped with an extended magazine, a drum magazine, an automatic switch, or used a ghost gun or defaced firearm. Any domestic violence related, stalking, or sex offense where the offender used or possessed a weapon. Any detainable felony offense that is committed on public transportation. All murder or Class X felony offenses, for example, first-degree murder, Class X, aggravated arson, Class X, aggravated battery of a child, aggravated kidnapping, aggravated vehicular hijacking, armed robbery, home invasion, and solicitation of murder. All sex offenders where the victim was under the age of 13 and the offender was an adult. All cases involving the manufacture, dissemination, or possession of child pornography. So all your sins, all these people, dirty sins and bad sins, will be getting prison. You will be going to prison. It's no lightening your sentence. It's none of that. Goodbye. You get the highest one. It's about time. It's so much wickedness going on. Out of these crimes, it's so much wickedness. Yes, baby. Your phone ringing.
Real quick.
No, I'm on my thing now. Now go ahead.
Oh, I thought you taking a break.
No, how you can take a break on live, sister? Oh, you guys. Okay, so you see what they're doing in Chicago. And it's about damn time. So much is going on in our city with the violence, with these young men. And you're right, Power 11. It's sad how our young black men kill each other. But then nobody is crying black on black crime. Let's stop the violence. When it's a white man, it's, oh my goodness, the police just shot this person, whatever, and did whatever. But they're not looking at what the real crime is. It's that black on black crime. And that exceeds the numbers every single day. The crime don't stop. It just do not stop. So as we go on, I thank you for joining me here on Sjbc News. This is Afternoon News. I do have to come back, you guys, but I do want to give you what I could give you as far as the news goes. Make sure that you pay attention. Say your prayers for those in that accident. As you can see, it's a little warm in here. And I thank you for joining Sjbc News. Okay? I'm your host, Sunshine Jamaican Blazing Chocolate. Oh my goodness. I have to read this for you guys. A priest from Detroit was arrested Monday after alleged incident involving a teenage girl at a Joliet church in November. What is a priest? What? Involving a teenage girl? The backstory is that the incident took place on November 21st, 2024, when officers responded to a Queen of Apostles church at 130 Woodland Avenue at 323, according to a statement from Joliet Police. Upon arrival, they learned that Carlos Martins, a priest from Detroit who was visiting as part of a St. Jude relic tour, allegedly approached the girl while she was in line to view the relic. Martins reportedly asked about her hair before grabbing it and making a flossing motion with her hair in his mouth. Wow. After sitting down, the girl told police Martin sat behind her and made a growling noise, according to officials. After the investigation, detectives submitted their findings to the Will County State's Attorney's Office, which approved the charge of misdemeanor battery against Martins. Martins, 50 years old, was arrested on Monday at 9:41 a.m. after the complaint warrant for battery was squashed in court. He was processed and released on a notice to appear. Nasty old man. That is a nasty old man. A priest. A priest. You know that come from the Roman Catholic Church, the priest. You done took this teenager, that's what you did? As you should, go be in jail. Under the jail for that one. You're a priest. Wow. This doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So you guys, I thank you. As you can hear my bird, she is, y'all see her, I'm finna whip her. This is my co-host. Y'all see her, my cockatiel, Star Danny. She is doing too much. I'm going to come back. Okay? I'm going to come back because I have a lot of more news. I'll be back after Dee's commercial break. Thank you.